everybody, my name is Eric Comley. I'm the Garrett County 4-H Youth Development Agent, and this is an episode of On the Ground. These videos are about some of our native plants that we have here in Kentucky, and I found a really amazing one right next to this gravel road as I travel out here in Garrett County. This one is called Rattlesnake Master. Scientific name for this one is Eryngium, Eryngium, yuccifolium, yuccifolium. It is really just a beautiful plant. You can see that's very tall. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So the etymology of this plant, the Eryngium is goes back to the Greek, which means spiny or thorny plants. Yuccifolium, yucca-like leaves, and I'm going to get some still shots of some of the leaves on this plant because they definitely look yucca-like. Habitat particularly likes savanna area, so you can see we've got like some big blue stem grass and everything that's starting to come up here. But it loves like savannas, it loves tall grass prairies. Also, you can find it in roadside areas, which is kind of where I'm at right now, on a preserve. As far as the plant is concerned, like I said, 2 to 5 feet tall. It's very, very hardy. It's extremely stiff. I was here in a rainstorm earlier looking at some plants, and I noticed this one, and it barely moved as the breeze came through. So a very hardy plant, and I know that a lot of people will use these plants in some of their native plant gardens as well. It has these strap-like leaves, the basal leaves on it, and as you come up the stem, and I don't know if you can see these, but you've got these clasping leaves as well. These are very stiff, and you'll notice that they're kind of a blue-green color. They are very glaucous or very waxy, and then they have these evenly spaced, what I thought were going to be prickles, but they're actually just kind of very smooth hairs, but they do have a prickle at the end. Like I said, very yucca-like. They have tiny flowers. This one looks like it's probably either not flowered yet or has, there's a couple of others that are around. I think the one that's next to me here has gone to seed, but it does have a long blooming period. It could bloom the entire summer. But the flowers are very, very small. They generally have little white flowers with, sometimes will be kind of a pale green as well. And the reproductive parts extend above the petals on this one. So just a really cool plant. So as far as like some cool history about it, so I'll talk a little bit about, Rattlesnake Master, that name, that's kind of a cool name anyway. I'm a snake person. And James Adair, who was an 18th century trader with Native American tribes, actually sat down with a Chickasaw shaman, and the shaman chewed this plant up, spit it in his hand, or blew it in his hand is what Adair said, and then picked up a rattlesnake and didn't get damaged or didn't get bit. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, please don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Please don't pick up venomous snakes, but please don't pick up any snakes. I mean, the more contact you have with them, obviously, the more likely you're going to get bit. So I would encourage you not to do that, and not follow the shaman's lead on that particular one. Also, a gentleman named Charles Millspaugh, he was a botanist and a physician, and between the mid-1800s up into the early 1900s, and he said that Native American tribes used this one as an antidote. Now, I assume that he was saying that it was an antidote for snake bites, but I promise you that it's not. So once again, you get bit by a venomous snake and you're out in the woods, don't go to Rattlesnake Master and try and chew on it to use it as an antidote. That's really just not a good idea. There are some historical medicinal uses outside of it being an antidote. It was used as a diuretic. It was used as to make sure that you expel worms. It was used, if you ate enough of it, it would induce vomiting. So there are those historical uses as well as a couple of others that I'm not going to bring up on this particular video. Also food uses. One of the books that I was looking at when I was trying to research and make sure I got prepared for this said that you can eat the shoots very early in the spring, but you need to make sure that you peel them, and you can eat them raw or you can cook them. Now, once again, anything that as far as food uses are concerned, please make sure that you do your own research on that, and not only plants but mushrooms and all those things. Make sure that you're doing your own research and not relying on the guy that's standing here in front of the camera, okay, or a Facebook page or something like that. It's so important that you do your own. So just a really cool plant. I'm going to get a couple of still shots of it, and then I'll put those at the end of this particular video. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for, I've had a lot of people that have reached out to me, and when are we going to see the next one of On the Ground? I'm hoping that we'll get to see a lot more, especially as some of our cone flowers and things are coming out. I can do a few more of those. But thank you all so much. My name is Eric Comley. I'm the Garrett County 4-H Youth Development Agent, and this is an episode of On the Ground. Thank you all very much.